Hi, this is Juan from JuanTutors.com. Welcome to my totally free office hours. Today we're working on the August 2016 New York Algebra 1 Common Core Regents exam, problem number 36. If you're looking for these exams, they're freely available online. Go to nysedregents.org. Click on the appropriate tabs and all the tests are freely available there. So here's the problem. Janice is asked to solve 0 equals 64x squared plus 16x minus 3. She begins the problem by writing the following steps. Line 1, 2, and 3, and I do look at the steps somewhat cursorily, not thoroughly right away, then I'll look more thoroughly later. 0 equals, okay, that's the original, then it looks like maybe a substitution and then a factoring. And then I keep going. I keep reading. Use Janice's procedure to solve the equation for x. And then the second part is explain the method Janice used to solve the quadratic equation. Now, students who I've worked with on this one-on-one, students that I've seen on videos, students that I've seen in my classrooms, they really struggle with that second part of the problem. Explain the method Janice used to solve the quadratic equation. I want to demystify that, but first I got to finish the problem that Janice is doing. It does look like she's doing a substitution, so let's see what's going on here. This original polynomial seems to have become b squared plus 2b minus 3. So it looks like 2b is 16x. So b might be 8x. And let's see if b squared, if b is 8x, b squared is 64x squared. So that is what she did. She substituted b for 8x. And then the next step, she factored this polynomial. And then we're gonna finish her step. I'm gonna write it a little bit bigger here. 0 equals b plus 3 times b minus 1. Then I'm gonna use the zero product property. This product equals 0, so one of the factors equals 0. So b plus 3 equals 0. Or b minus 1 equals 0. Okay, and then subtract 3, and I get b equals negative 3. And over here, plus 1, so I get b equals 1. Now I do have to go back and substitute back for the value for what x is. B is 8x, so 8x, because my goal is to solve for x, not solve for b. So 8x equals negative 3, divide by 8, and I get x equals negative 3 over 8. So this is one of the answers. And I highly recommend that you check your answer by plugging into the calculator. And so 8x equals 1. And we get divide by 8 and divide by 8. And we get x equals 1 over 8. Now, if I do want to check on the calculator because I really feel like I should emphasize with a lot of my students, my tutoring students really get it, how important it is to check your answer, because the truth is that this test, sorry, let me drag this down a little bit. This test is a huge amount of, consider it a huge amount of income in your real life. 1 point higher grade in this test is guaranteed higher income of one sort or another for the rest of your life. Your Regents grades are looked at very strongly, very heavily for when you apply to colleges. So table, I'm gonna change the mode. The table set from independent to for the x from auto to ask, which means I enter the x values, and then I go to the x coordinates and I type in negative 3/8. Okay, and I get 0, which is what I expect, and then I'm going to plug in 1/8, which is likely to be true, also a root, and it is in fact a root. So these are correct. So I'm guaranteed that these are about 3 out of the 6 points that this problem is worth. That's a big deal. That's a lot of points. So that's why we check our answer. It's 3 points on the raw score can correspond to between anywhere between 3 and 5 points on the Regents. For those of you who are aiming for the high 90s, it could mean the difference between a 95 and a 98. For those of you who are in the lower end, in the 50s and 60s, this could mean the difference between passing and failing, or being in the 70s versus being in the 80s, etc. So always check your answer. So now, the second part of the problem, this part that really mystifies students: explain the method Janice used to solve the quadratic equation. First off, this word explain, we have to use words. Okay? Justify, if they say justify, we can use algebra to justify, but if they say explain, we have to use words. But they're not actually asking for the name of this procedure. They're not asking for some crazy generalized statement about how this and all problems are done. They're asking for how she did this. So if you did this, what is it that you did, and what is it that Janice did? Janice substituted b for 8x. Write that. That's what they're looking for. Nothing big. Janice substituted b for 8x. Then she solved for b for b. Then she substituted back 8x for b. Okay? And then she solved for x. That's really it. They don't want, they want literally what did she do? Literally what did she do? Not any esoteric crazy explanation, nothing generic, nothing super generalized. What did she do in this problem to solve uh, the problem? Not why. They don't care about why. What did she do? That's it. Let's do this problem that we created here at JuanTutors. Java is asked to solve the equation 0 equals 9x squared plus 12x plus 3. He begins by writing the following steps. And again, I look line 1, 2, and 3, and I see basically it looks like a substitution, something else going on in line 3. Okay, and then I use Java's procedure to solve the equation for x, and then explain the method Java used to solve the quadratic equation. Excuse me. So definitely pause the video, try the problem on your own, and see if you get the same answer that we do. If you do, definitely hit the like button and subscribe. Listen, the way we're able to provide these videos for free is by viewers like you seeing these videos. So if you tell your friends about them, you do hit that like button, subscribe. It helps us by motivating us to make these videos and to see that these videos are being used. So definitely do that. All right, so now here it is. What we see that there is some sort of substitution. I see b squared is 9x squared. So if the square root of that is 3 of 9x squared is 3x. So if b is 3x, b squared is 9x squared. So let's see. If b is 3x, 4 times 3x is 12x, which is that. So in fact, b is substituted with 3x. Okay, so we're going to use that later. Now we're going to use this to solve the equation. Okay, so b squared plus b plus 3b plus 3 equals 0. So we're going to continue with the method that they used, but you're not absolutely required to do what the trick that she's going to use. There's a couple of ways to go about doing it from here, and then if you just whatever you do to get the right answer starting from here though is totally a legal way of doing the problem. So I see that this first part has a common factor of b, and the factor pair is b plus 1 by the distributive property. If I distribute the b into b plus 1, b times b is b squared, and b times 1 is b. And then this factor has a 3 in common. These terms have a 3 in common, and the factor pair would be b plus, well, 1 times 3 is 3, so 1. equals 0. And the benefit of this is that both of these terms, both of these products now have a factor of b plus 1, so that could be factored out. And then on this side, I get b plus 3 equals 0. And then I get, as before, I split this up using the zero product property, b plus 3 equals 0. I subtract 3, and I get b equals negative 3. And then here I get b plus 1 equals 0 by the zero product property. If the product equals 0, one of the factors is 0, subtract 1. And I get b equals negative 1. And I am not done because I do have to solve the equation for x, not for b. So 3x equals negative 3. And I divide by 3. And I get x equals negative 1. Okay, and here I substitute for x, so 3x for b is 3x equals negative 1, and I divide by 3, and I got x equals negative 1/3. Okay, and then I definitely want to check my answer, right? Because I want to get I'm sorry, this is a 4-point problem. I said that this was a 6-point problem earlier. It's not, it's a 4-point question. So but either way, I want to get all 4 points. So I'm going to check this answer. And I get, let's see, 9x squared plus 12x. You could fast forward if you don't want to see me check the answer. If you know how to check your answer and if you're dedicated to checking the answer. And I've already set the table to ask. So I'm going to plug in the numbers negative 1. Okay, that's a root, and negative 1/3. And that is also a root because we get y equals 0. So this is correct, and that is correct. So now the second part, we got to explain what the method Jabba used to solve this equation. Jabba, by the way, Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars. We want to explain what Jabba decided to do. We don't want to go so general that again we our explanation fits every single problem. No, we just want to say what Jabba did. So Jabba substituted b for 3x. Okay, then Jabba split 4x into, I'm sorry, not 4x, 4b into b and 3b. Okay, why? Well, because this is what allowed him to split these 4 terms now up into factors, into binomials which had a factor pair. But you don't have to say that. You just have to say that what he did was he split b into 4b into b and 3b. You don't have to justify exactly why. So then Jabba factored the polynomial into b plus 3 times b plus 1 equals 0 and solved for b. Okay, he then substituted 3x back into b and solved for x. Okay, and that's really it. That's what he did. So this is, if you know how to do this, explain. This is an explanation that will get you points, but not only will get you points to get a higher grade, but will also get you points relative to other people, because for some reason students really struggle on what this is talking about. Explain the method. So we substitute, we solve for x, we just literally say what Jabba did, and don't explain why they did it, just explain what they did. And that's 4 points. This is now a 4 point problem. Our grade is boosted. We're doing much better on this Regents than most people. All right. Thanks for watching. Listen, I know you could do it. Keep working at it. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next video starting right now.